Hi everyone, good evening, morning, afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Today I have the beautiful, gorgeous, amiable Kemi, the general manager of the Hall of Odin at the Wave Beach.
Yes,
So tell us about yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kemi Adefisayo. I am the general manager for the Hall of Odin and also for the Do and Shima Beach House, because we also have a beach house on the stretch.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So guys, we've talked about venue owners. You need to this, you need to that. And ahead of the December rush, right? Or just generally, I want Kemi to, just give us all the OTs and the tips and things that we need to know, and then we beg and then she'll help us beg everybody, So Kemi, there's just this, there's always this banter between planners, vendors, and all managers, setup time. You guys, your policies are too much, yada, yada, yada. What can you say? It's always good to hear from the horse's mouth, so.
I think it's a well-needed conversation.
Yeah.
So well done, Adeswa. I think this is such a fantastic avenue. I don't think we currently have anything like this in the event industry at this time, where we're like weighing opinions and we're getting inputs just so that at the end of the day, people can have better experiences, as the case might be. So, to the question of policies being a lot, I think that they are necessary. I think that's where I will start. If we are going to have successful, seamless events, the same way event planners get to coordinate with multiple vendors, the hall managers, the ones who are really interested and detailed about their job, also
like you.
Thank you. We also need to work with multiple people, and the best way to just make that happen is to have these policies in place. And while they might seem strict, it's also for the good of the clients. Right? If we say come in by this time, leave by that time. And I know we'll get into the gist of all of that detail, but policies are necessary for any structure. In terms of an organization that wants to thrive, you need policies in place to thrive, to grow, to be better, and to even deliver value for clients. So policies are no-brainers.
Yeah, I agree. But again, we all love policies. I love policies. I'm a very principled person, right? Because whatever it is that you don't put boundaries, right, it will fall fast.
Sure.
So, but there's a but. I've had conversations with people, and then some people just feel like they are not realistic policies, most especially with setup timelines, and during the festive period, So what can you say about the timelines for setup? I'm also very considerate of the fact that you guys are in business, right? Yeah. But we need to find a balance.
True.
Where we can actually, so we want to set up, we have an idea of, the kind of decor that we want to do, but we just cannot bring it to life, or we now have to bring in multiple people, and then you see something like a decor that is supposed to take us about 48 hours or even 3 days, we had to set up in 12 hours. And I'm like, wow. And then you see these guys are tired. So what can you really say about that end?
So I really like this, and I am so glad that we're talking about it. Yeah. In terms of setting up, I think one thing that I've discovered, and maybe it's just coincidence, but the people that you give the most time to, decorators that you give the most time to, they end up doing nothing with the time you give them. And I'm not joking. I've had over 100+ events at the venue, so I know.
So you're saying that, they've had all day and nothing is
nothing. So I think it boils down to structure and actually working with your people knowing what to do. You came to work. Why do you have to gist when you first arrive? Why do you have to chill? We're by the beach side. Why do you have to first stroll to the beach and just, spend like 30 minutes, 1 hour just enjoying nature? And then you're taking your time to bring down the items from the truck before. There are decorators that we're giving time to. I get to the venue by 5 o'clock and they've not done anything. They're just sorting their drapes. I'm like, I wish I didn't give you. So it feels like when I see it sometimes, it's like they need the pressure to actually work.
Yeah. So they still end up saying they want to do overnight.
They want to do overnight, but I gave you the whole day and I cannot see what you've done. The stage person has set the stage, and then the only thing that I'm seeing happening is just drape being sorted.
Yeah. Again, what if we are just saying it from from people who do not understand how decoration works. I mean, we need to have a decorator on board to really help us sort this out, because some of them might tell you that sorting is actually part of the job. So some of them might tell you that they need to build something, they need to probably do the truss, raise it high before, something else.
So can I, and again, the decorator will be the best person, but just from where I stand, we did have this client one time, they had a challenge at their venue. So they had to move to our venue, like emergency. They finally moved all their items like Saturday evening, maybe about 8 p.m.
Wow.
That is the most elaborate decor we've had at our venue. And they had a short time to pull it up. But you could see coordination at a 100. The people who are building know they are building. The ones who are painting know they are painting. The ones who are setting up the truss, it was as though they had sectioned themselves into teams and they know what to do. Yeah. And so maybe you also need to then sit back as a decorator and say, what's the kind of manpower I need to pull off this job? And do not try to reduce that manpower because you want to make more money. Do you need 10 people sorting out your drapes? And when they say, oh, they need to sort out, why didn't you sort out your drape at your venue? It's all planning. You didn't, I mean, this person booked you months, weeks, as the case might be, ahead of the wedding. Why are you doing everything here? If you have just 12 hours, and do you know why I think that, again, decorators don't come for me, and you still can. They don't maximize their time. So how do you guys do it when you then have shorter time? How do you make the magic happen? That means you can work within time. But because there's laxity of time, you decide to relax. I do say though that there are like elaborate decorations that you do need maybe days. You are building things from like the very scratch. I get it. But when we're just talking like trust, and come on, Adesua, how long does it take to raise a trust?
I don't know.
It doesn't take that long. Yeah, if you're saying you're putting the crystals, maybe that takes some time. But I think that if you're really structured and you have your teams, you have your coordinators knowing what they're doing, you can deliver within a certain time frame.
Wow.
We're generous though. Yeah. So when we don't have events, we give you a day before.
And then even at night?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then when we have events, of course, the time is shorter. And we'll talk about time as well.
Yeah, let's talk about time. I mean, we are there already, so let's talk about time.
Right. So for timing, on our part, we're strict about it. And, we give you access from, let's say we had an event a day before, you'd have access from 1 a.m. And when I say you have access, you're coming into a clean hall. You're not coming to drag table and chair. So in December was chaos. Yes, we are one of the halls that had 18, 17, 19, But what I had done ahead of that time, and I think is a practice that can be adopted, is you already know your calendar. So the question I asked is, how many people do we need to logically tear down in an hour? And so what we did was we employed 12 people. Their job was just tear down. So we do not care if your decorator is tearing down.
We are also tearing down.
We're going to tear down. We're going to move out the items and we're going to clean up the space. And then you move into a clean space. And I think it's a practice that other halls can adopt. You have this thing. So I'm supposed to rely on your 2 or 4 in-house cleaners who are going to be exhausted from working every other day. Just get manpower. They know. I tell them, you get into the hall by 11 and you're working till 1 and we're done. And we also put a hard stop to the time. Last year we did 11 p.m. This year we've taken it to 10.
Okay.
And so when people are like, but we have an after party, go to the front of the beach and do your party, but you cannot have it inside. And we've had terrible experiences because, maybe this is also exonerate some hall managers. I'll give you a quick story that hurt my soul. It hurts me deeply. We've put a hard stop, 10 o'clock, don't go past it. The planner for the event the next day got paid a good sum of money to extend the previous event by about 1-2 hours.
Wow.
So she's not their planner. She chose money over her own client's experience. So she took the money. It was a huge sum. Because when everything, like I say, when it casts,
Wow.
When everything was like, and the planner was upset, the wedding, the bride's mother was upset. Everybody was like, why is the place in chaos? And then the truth began to reveal itself.
Yeah.
And then we found out. But imagine that. So we, as the whole management, we've said 10 o'clock, no more. They say, move it by 2 hours. And then you collect that money and you move it. At the end of the day, that blame comes to the management. That day, I'm like, I'm not covering any, because I would not put in so much hard work to employ extra staff, ensure that those people, by the time they were done and all that happened, they didn't finish till about 2.
Oh.
She was in chaos. As the wedding was a morning wedding too, as at 10, 11, the hall was not even ready. And there was no way it could have been ready.
Yeah.
And then the couple came and she was busy running around, trying to, I was very upset. I think that was the most blunt I've been. She's like, well, no, don't talk to me. Deal with it yourself. I told you what it should be.
Wow.
So we also should generally, I think, put our client's best interest at heart. And I do not think that there's a client who's greater or better than the other. If you paid, so for example, I have 2 events. If you paid for today and another person paid for tomorrow, for me, there's no amount extra you're going to pay. I would stop you when I need to stop you.
Yeah.
And I've had clients get upset about it, like, oh, but I want to extend. Oh, but I came first. But you have the advantage of setting up a whole day before. They don't have that
luxury. Yeah.
Now let's talk about December.
Yes, please, let's talk about December.
And it's all about decorators again, because they're going to be one of the biggest bones in our throats. I think it's a really bad habit that some decorators, after the event, they just up and go. Like they've done the setup and so they think it's over. No, your job doesn't end there. I think if you would not be on ground personally, you should have a supervisor who would ensure that tear down is done properly.
Yeah.
And your people are well coordinated. We understand how the industry is. A number of the people you're working with to tear down are laborers.
Yeah.
Illiterate, semi-literate.
They don't care. They don't even care about your property.
They don't even understand that they should care. They don't understand that somebody else is coming.
In fact, where they should care the most at tear down, they don't care.
And so what typically would happen in December is, for example, we have moved out everything. Then you would see that the decor team, all their items are just in front. And so people are coming into the hall and the place is looking like a mess.
Yeah.
And the decorators, they don't just seem to care. It's like, I've collected my money, I've done my job, I've gone. If your next event is a mess, that's on you. Oh, and so that is really, really bad.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't be on ground, let a supervisor on ground. If your truck isn't here yet because you took multiple events, let your supervisor be knowledgeable to either move all your items to a section or just nicely arrange it. You can't have your banner, your wood, your truss, everything is just, and you're like, you are tired. How are you tired?
Again, last year I talked about this. It still boils down to, I don't know, I really need to sit with the decorator next, because
please, we will look forward to it.
Yeah, because you work with the same set of guys and then you're working 16, 17, 18, 19, and then they're building, they're tearing.
Why?
They would be very tired. So initially I did a video where I was talking about, maybe rotations. I don't know. They have to be able to think about what would work, because how do you do an event and then you lose so much money? Because even in the place of, another people coming in to set
break
up,
items.
they can break items.
They would break
They
items.
can break items.
Definitely.
So if you had to give an advice to, vendors, I won't even say decorators only, because we also have the light vendors, but decorators, they do the bigger work here. If you had to advise vendors, guests, clients, planners, what would you advise people?
Okay, so we'll take it step by step.
Yeah.
When we have vendors meetings, I would always say that use the space like it's your space. And I don't think it's just a vendor thing. I think it's a Nigerian thing. We need to have more ownership
mentality
as people.
Yeah.
And you don't just do things because, oh, well, I didn't build it. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And even down to when you're working with staff, that's why I say it's a Nigerian thing. People need to stop this whole, it's not my father's business, I'll put it on my shoulder. If it's heavy, I'll I'll drop it down. Because that's when you're not paying attention to the things that you should pay attention to, whether they are directly under you or not. And that's the whole idea with ownership. So for vendors, use spaces like it was you who built that property. How would you keep it clean? How would you prepare the space? How would you engage? If this was your daughter's wedding, how would your waiters engage? You want to make a good impression. And that's still ownership. So why don't you just translate it in that moment? So I think for vendors, if they could be more cautious, we've had luck, I would say. We've worked with really fantastic. I don't think we've had problematic vendors. So maybe I can't speak to it so much. But if you use spaces like you would use your space, talk to your staff. And the problem just leading a business that I have learned is we expect people to know things, and it's wrong.
It's wrong, yeah. People only do as much as they know per time.
And as much as you have taken time to
train, yeah.
So you want your staff, your waiters to be excellent and things like that. Before the event, did you take time to gather them and be like, we're going here. This event is important to us. If we want to get this kind of event again, we need to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Don't just assume.
Yeah.
Now, you might know these things based on your exposure, your education, the kind of interactions you've had. But when you work with people, you need to take time to, will I say, transfer your expectations.
Again, I think that vendors just feel, because majority of the staff that they work with, right? I'm not speaking for all vendors now. They are like ad hoc staff. So they just feel like,
But it's not about the staff.
It's not about
the brand.
The business, yeah, the brand reputation.
So if you don't care that they are ad hoc staff, could you at least care that they are representing your
exactly
business?
At the time? Because
nobody knows them. They want your logo.
Thank you. That's what I was saying.
They won't say corporate was here. They will say XYZ business was here.
Yeah.
Moving on to guests. We really do not interface so much with them. So I mean, I guess follow the instructions that the event owner and the planner be patient. You know, there's always this rush. You want to sit here, you want to come in first, you want to do this. There's a planner, there's a flow. Can you let them go with the flow? So I think if guests would be more patient, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where is your... I've seen it sometimes. It's not my direct, but be like, you know who I am. You can't tell me not to enter. I can tell you because they gave me an instruction to work with an ID
and I really
card.
don't know who you are. No, not even in a bad way, but I don't know.
You know, so on that note, yes, for decorators who, in my opinion, carry the bulk of like setup for the event, I think a lot of coordination. Having a great idea is good. A great vision board or mood board. A great mood board is good to say this is what we want to do. But a lot of coordination is needed. And I think that for any department, any organization that works with a lot of people, if you're not coordinated, you would have a problem. So can you have a drip coordinator, a trust coordinator, a construction coordinator? It would seem like, oh, but how much are you really paying these people at the end of the day? And if you know that this is what it takes to deliver excellence, charge for it. We know people who charge in millions, 5 and 10s and 20s of millions to deliver that level of excellence. So why don't you say, you know what, dear client, I don't want you to have a problem that day. It's the reason why I'm putting XYZ in place. If we need to work together, then it needs to be done. So coordination on their part, very important. And I'm not exonerating the hall managers. I hear that some of us are badly behaved. I say some of us because I try not to be. I had a friend, she's a planner as well. She was somewhere on the mainland and she complained about how they had an event the day before and the hall manager did not even come to open. Like, they did not come to tell the other people to go out. They just went into their office and they went to sleep. And they were banging. Please come and tell your clients to go and not answer them. So her event almost flopped. They were still setting up when the couple was getting in and everything. So I think we also need to be more coordinated. We shouldn't be greedy. So if I know that I can't do, in fact, this year, not if I know, this year I told myself I'm not going to do like a 6-7 day stretch. I'm going to do a 4 days and I will take a break. So if you come for that day and I see I have back to back, I'll be like, sorry, you either choose an available day, but that day is not available. So those are some of the things we put in place. So don't take beyond your capacity.
Absolutely.
Maybe we worked with our own capacity. I knew we had like management who understood the need for certain things being in place. They could pay off 12 extra people for labor. But if your own management would not agree to that, then take realistic jobs that you can deliver on. And I'm coming to learn every day that client relationship is so important, even with planners. And so when I'm rude on some days, I call myself back and I'm like, you need to go and apologize. So I'm not saying I'm a saint. There are days like there's a lot of emotions. I'm so awful. Then I go back and I'll be like, I'm sorry, emotions were high. There was a particular planner I kept apologizing to up until about June this year.
Wow.
Because I recalled that day and I'm like, it was a lot I could have done better. And so I'm like, I'm sorry. Finally, she responds. She's like, okay, we're good. We'll do better. I'm like, my heart was like, thank you. So, I think that we also need to understand that client relationship is important. You could treat, especially with the planners, I could treat you bad today. And then when you have another customer the next day, you're like, if I never go to that hall, for reasons known to,
I'm not going to disclose.
I'm not going to that. You can't go there. So that would be my thought.
Wow. Thank you so very much. I mean, this was very insightful. Again, these conversations, they are very necessary because the clients will come, everybody has an idea when they are not in that boat with you. You hear the guests say things like, how can you behave like that? And sometimes I'm like, well, I cannot begin to explain to you, you did not hire me, and then planners have their opinion about event managers, and then they also do not know what you guys are going through, why you're putting all these policies in place, It's just a lot of things, but thank you so much for all of these things that you have shared. Ahead of December, please, what can you tell vendors? Please, pledge to excellence. I pledge to excellence campaign.
I mean, so ahead of December, pledge to excellence.
Especially those dates, 18th, 20th, 13th.
All the, from 13th, I think. From 13th, 14th, pledge to excellence. Have the right structure in place. Do not take more than you can actually handle. Exactly. And if you want to take more than you normally would collaborate, employ more hands, because what's happening is you're getting more resources. Be willing to put out some of those resources, not just for yourself, but for the sake of your brand. Not just for the people you're going to be paying, but for the sake of your brand. So please, structure, very important. Do not take more than you can handle. And when you do, put the things necessary in place to make it happen. If you would have multiple events in December, and this is to event hall managers, please put a hard stop to the time, right? So that people do not go overboard in situations like that. And this is an out of the book advice. I think that we need to stop seeing, especially when we think about event management, we need to begin to see it as hospitality. Not just like I'm putting events together. Because the mindset for hospitality is way different. It's the experience. It's what I'm thinking about. It's how did I feel working with this person.
Kemi, I'm still telling my colleague, I had an event, I think it was December last year. As in, I felt very unhappy. As in, and this is again because hospitality, we've put in a lot of work. It was a referral. Everything went well, but the decor didn't go well. And I saw the reaction of the couple. It broke me. When you put in so much work into something, and again, because we did everything in our power, we were there, we were calling, we had meetings back to back. These times we're not in the country. We were having meetings back to back. We were clarifying things. And then, the decor just didn't go.
The decor was not decorated.
It wasn't decorated. And it really hurts them. Again, I understood the perspective of the decorator, right? And it still goes back to, please, if you know you cannot just deliver, right, on something, don't take the job. Don't take it, right? If I promise somebody 100, and I have charged them 70 to produce that 100, I would add my 30 to it to make it 100, right? So that they can get that result. Because the thing just really broke them. And it also was in December, people were working back to back. Their staff, like you said, they were sleeping. My assistant, you needed to see everybody, the one that carried broom was sweeping. I have videos, the one that, you know,
just to support.
So December, I also have like a mentee who complained about the same thing. She had a very bad December. I mean, that December 20, was it? No, it wasn't. Ours wasn't even 20th. Ours was a day. But people who had 20th, my God, she said, guests were coming in.
Let me check our calendar. If I have 20th.
She said, guests were coming into the hall. They were still fixing the truss. You can imagine that.
That's serious.
And it has happened like back to back. Guests will come in. How many guests can we explain to that? Oh,
this was happening.
Oh, the people that had events yesterday. Oh, the decorator has 3 jobs. Everybody just says the planner. And this is the same planner who will do everything.
And this is for clients too. So if you want to have your after party, please be willing to pay for 2 days.
Yeah.
Understand it is the season. Probably in a season when it's not peak, we would make an exemption. But in December, you want to have an after party and you're insisting that nobody should stop you by 10, then
what you said reminded me of, it doesn't have to be Saturday. It doesn't have to be December 20th. It could be December 19th. I mean, you guys can take, is there anything that stops anybody from having events on Monday?
Our Decembers are dynamic. Last year we had 12, 13, 14, 15. We had every day of the week.
Yeah, please. It could be Monday, Tuesday. We understand that you're trying to, everybody is in town and you're trying to have yourself.
Get them together.
Please, it could be Monday, it could be on Monday. There are a lot of public holidays in December. It doesn't have to be that Saturday.
I agree.
Oops. Thank you so much, Kemi, for having this conversation with.
Final tip.
Take
a course on emotional intelligence. You will need it because people would step on your toes. People would really trigger you. You need to be prepared. If not, you're just gonna bust open.
I agree. All right. Thank you all so very much. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.